You ever had brake lights work the first time before?
Oh, hang on. Oh, God, this thing is just crushing my hand. All right. So, Davey, when I asked you an hour ago when this car was going to go around the block for the first time, what did you say?
Tomorrow?
No, you didn't. You lying sack of...
I just had a meeting with three folks, Colin, Audrey, and Dave, and I asked them when the car would be ready to go around the block for the very first time, because we're down to, well, it's Tuesday, and we've got to deliver the car, or at least put a stamp on it, on Friday of next week. And when I asked when the car would be ready to go around the block, Audrey said she thought soon. Colin said he would have his basic parts done by the end of the day. And Davey said next Friday, as in not this Friday, but next Friday. So I've been working on a new plan, and now I'm going to go explain to everyone that this car needs to go around the block by the end of the day. So we're going to try something new today. Rather than bringing on the film crew, it's going to be mostly me grabbing the camera, which is actually my phone, and handing it off as needed to whether it's my son, my wife, or someone else in the shop. And we're going to try and show you what happens in one day on one car in about 1 hour. So I think this is going to be an interesting journey, and I hope you'll join along.
All right, Colin. Our critical list. Where are we?
About to put the cluster in right now and get all that hooked up.
Okay, show me the cluster. I want to see if it's ready. Are you ready to plug things in? Is the BIM controller installed? All right. So, I gotta look at this. We have to get this car started today. I know the plan was to start it next week. You know why that plan won't work, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't have any time.
Because it leaves next week. So we need to get some miles. We need a minimum of about 100 miles, if not more,
Definitely.
on this car. What are we lacking to get these gauges functioning in this car, installed and actually?
Nothing should be lacking to get them functioning.
It's interesting. Dakota Digital did Steven Tyler's logo in white and the FantomWorks in the red.
They did a really good job. It looks really cool.
Where's my clock?
Your clock is...
Grab it. I want to see what it looks like. I didn't tell them to match
They did, yeah.
our design, and they matched it by
They sure
accident.
did, yeah.
Bob Ross talked about happy accidents all the time.
That's pretty funny.
I need a seat, gauges, and steering wheel. When will I have those three in that car so I can start it up and drive it from your perspective?
Probably 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah.
How long will it take you to make the paddle shift function?
I gotta read the papers, so...
You got 2 hours. Don't waste another minute of it talking to me. Talk to me. Where are we on our exhaust? So where is our, okay, so our side cover is already cut. What are you missing to finish the install?
Nothing.
Okay.
My labor.
The covers. Is anything you're going to do going to stop the covers from fitting on the way they need to fit?
No. Like I said, I'm focused on getting the pipes on it, getting it functional.
And here's what just go with me on this. If we blacked out the covers and left the tips in silver, only because I don't want super hot surfaces dealing with paint and powder coating and heating surfaces. What do you think?
I like it.
Okay, then I think that's our plan. All right, Chris. We unfortunately discovered a huge problem just minutes ago. The problem we had was our cold air tube, which has already been built, is aiming down. And although that doesn't sound like that big a deal, unfortunately with it aiming down, this cold air tube, if you look at my finger, it's on the back side of the pipe, and there simply is no radiator hose that can make a turn that is actually like, this wouldn't be a 90, this would be like a 140 degree turn. So we thought our cold air system was done, our cold air filter was already installed, everything was painted, our heat, our mass airflow sensor was already welded on, and we got to throw it all in the garbage and redesign it. Davey,
Yeah.
what time are you going to be finished with the exhaust?
I don't know.
Give me a guess.
By the end of the day.
Okay, you got to get this done too. Unfortunately, deadlines for us don't always work well because the nature of what we do just takes time. It's just it's a process where it's iterative. You have to do A in order to figure out B, then you have to do B to figure out C, and so on and so forth. There were a couple of assumptions made that unfortunately we're finding out right now were incorrect assumptions, that we could do C based on A, B being done this way, and we're finding out that B has to be redone. This car really needs a postage stamp put on it next Friday, and we've got, what do we got, 11 days roughly to get this car done to the point where it's a reliable car, which means hundreds of miles put on it and it being taken through the sort of the ringer. Right now we're unfortunately way behind schedule, and there's no theatrics involved. We're just way behind schedule, and so we have to change the glide path of this vehicle, or we're just going to hit the trees on takeoff and not make it. So the challenge is radiator hoses, and unfortunately radiator hoses, I know that sounds like simple, but Chris, how complex are frickin' radiator hoses?
Well, on an application that's never been done, it's sometimes nearly impossible.
Right. In this case, because of some of the things we've done in order to get the power, the type of shift mechanism, all of the features, the factory air conditioning, unfortunately everything competes with everything else. So here's a fundamental difference I have, and this is one of the things that I think the guys at first it drives them crazy, but then I think ultimately they embrace it. Colin, when you came on board and I insisted, we have not done a factory air C2 Resto Mod Roadster yet. This is our first in that combination.
I heard Chris cussing, and that doesn't happen too often, so I got to figure out why.
Okay, what's going on?
The fitting that goes here is not worth it. Okay, so I went trying to find a suitable replacement, and everything I got is either the wrong size one way or the other. This is the one I tried to find to replace it because I could.
So where's the part that you have?
It's in the back. It's in the back.
Chris found a new brake fitting. I'm just hoping it's the right one.
It's always nice when Audrey is just so happy to help.
That's just my face.
She's a joy to work with. Okay, so this, are you saying that needs to go in this?
That fitting will not thread into here.
All right, so let me
it's
jump
either
under here. Oh, God, this thing is just crushing my hand. All right, go ahead. And turn it slow. Every time Davey starts that welder,
Yeah.
okay, try turning that. I think it's on. See, that's actually from here, that's looking fairly good. Ah, you know what I think? I think it started.
We've got the 3 fittings in on the front distribution block. Now Chris found a leak on the rear distribution block, so we're going to work on that. And with a brake system that has over 3,500 PSI of pressure, we really can't take any chances. So we've got an issue here where our distribution block, the fitting on it wasn't tight, and so it's just pissing brake fluid everywhere. Right now we're trying to get funky tools into hidden spaces. But yep, Audrey, give me some stank. I mean, I need some stank on it. Audrey, yep. Give me everything you got.
Holding.
All right. That's working. All right.
Still call this brake job a success, even though it took Chris and me working together for, a little over an hour and a half.
We think we have the brakes at least to where we can start bleeding them. So we've had 3 different leaks coming out, but I'm kind of hoping we've, at this point, taken care of those 3 leaks, and it's time to start bleeding them. I've got a belief that there's a certain number of cuss words required to do some jobs. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
That there's a certain number of hours, there's a certain number of dollars, but in some cases there's just a certain, you can keep score, you don't need to talk. But do you, but do you agree? Wait a second, I got Audrey to smile. Go ahead, look at that.
Because Chris is like sticking his tongue out. That's funny.
Well, I know that, but that's what I was looking
He's
for.
being like Audrey. I like it.
All right.
The first 3 mechanic tests are really simple. The first test number 1 is you hit it. If
Okay.
that doesn't work, you do test number 2 and you shake it. And if that doesn't work, then you cuss it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Cussing is test number 3. So
I'll be honest with you. I generally go straight to the cussing. That's
Yeah, you
that's
good
good.
on that.
I mean,
You good.
they all know this.
Now about an hour and a half into the seat install, when Colin tried it a while ago, he discovered that one of the bolts, and it's only one, but it was snapped off right inside a fitting in a fiberglass floor, which takes a lot of precision and much care to get out. So unfortunately, we were too busy to film during that sequence, so now it's time for the seat to go in.
So, are the seats actually going in this time, or is
going
this
in.
just a test fit?
No, that's it.
So we've got a big radiator hose problem on the car, and the issue is, of course, that the fitting on one side of the hose is different than the fitting on the other. But the bigger problem is that hoses have to make a whole lot of turns, and even though they're made out of rubber, you can't force a turn because it'll kink the hose and then the water won't flow. So I've asked Audrey to find every single spare radiator hose we have in the shop, and I'm going to test fit every one and hope that we find something that works.
Hang on, we got some radiator hoses to do. Grab me your heat gun.
Right behind you.
Why? Okay, let me ask you a question, Audrey. Why is it when I ask you a question, you have to answer it like I've asked that Okay, these are not.
Those are the smallest pieces we have. They're smaller than the one
it's
you
the
handed me.
Really?
FantomWorks way, Dan. We answer a question with a question.
With a snarky question, exactly. Yeah.
That's Audrey's specialty.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go cut
Mine's-
this. Hang
Mine's
on.
gearboxes and suspension, and Audrey's is finding clever ways to make you feel inadequate.
Davey, would you cut this on the lathe or cut this? Can I cut this in the bandsaw or will it bind?
Wear gloves.
Okay, I'm gonna go check it on the lathe. All right. So one of our challenges is that, while I'm absolutely in agreement that Colin should be connecting the gauges and doing the final wiring, a very basic element of starting a car is it has to have 3 things, and those 3 things are air, spark, and compression, or air, fuel, and spark. And so unfortunately, we had a situation where we basically couldn't get any of those because of the way the cold air intake was being set up. And so I'm just sort of mocking things up so that I can at least get things going in a reasonable fashion, try to get this cold air system mocked up, get some radiator hoses on the vehicle, and so that way all of these great people who have done really cool things for us can actually see their products being used properly. All right, so here's what I'm going to try and do is just do a quick cut, and there's 50 ways to skin every cat. And as you penetrate the inner wall, it's when it's most critical, because if it's going to fly off, it's going to do it at that moment, just like that. Okay, so, didn't work. Let's go get another one. You can see where it just sort of bit right through, and as soon as it did, it hooked on the other side, and being a very, very soft, this is probably like a T3 aluminum. It was so soft, it just ripped it right out of the jaws. So Davey, what do you think? I like it. I'm gonna try it again that same way. This time we're gonna use the jaws in reverse. One of the common themes that we've had building this car has been the psychology of giving a car away. When we made the decision to give this car away, I was very, very concerned that folks around here would think that if you're giving it away and it's free, it means there's no limit to how much you can spend on it. And of course, from my perspective as a business owner, that's kind of almost the opposite of the logic I want to apply. I'm not going to say that that means you shouldn't spend anything on it, but what's happened is we're basically bleeding hours into this project at at a very substantial rate. Now, the good news for me is that the car has been just coming along magnificently. So that I appreciate. The scary part is that we have easily doubled my intended budget. You know, that's a little bit of a challenge for me, because at the end of the day, people still have to get paid. Stand back. We're gonna try it one more time. And then once I get in a certain amount, I'm gonna pull out the hacksaw. And hopefully this one doesn't fly out and kill us. There we go. We are through. Who took my hacksaw? This is the part of my company that drives me the most nuts. I bought a hacksaw and I leave it here for doing the final cuts. And people will need something for a project, so they'll take it, which I actually don't mind, as long as they put it back. And they have decided that they don't need to put it back. So I don't have my finish hacksaw. So now I'm gonna have to go, you know, raise hell with the crew. And then the guy who did it will ultimately return it. That was more successful than the first time. So now I'm going to give it a quick sand. This cold air intake, Davey's concern was that if he turned it sideways, it wouldn't clear the hood. And I agree with him. But we can't turn it straight down either. So in other words, he chose that between 3 and between 6 o'clock, he would choose 6. I'm going to choose 3:15. And the reason is I think 3:15 will provide me just enough clearance to clear the hood, while at the same time giving me adequate clearance from the hood. So that goes there, and you see, so this is 3, and at 3 it doesn't work. It actually touches the hood here. So our clearances are very, very light. So I'm going to end up moving this power steering reservoir about 1/4 of an inch forward. I mean, it fits the way it is, but it's a little snug, and I don't want this chafing. So I'm going to move that 1/4 inch by redesigning that bracket. And now I need to know if my cold air intake and look at that. So I'm at 3:15. My cold air intake clears the fender. My line is good here, so I can put my grommet on it. We're going to paint this black to match the engine. And I think we've got a solution here. So we've got a cold air intake. Davey needs to weld this up or bolt it up, and he needs to get our mass airflow bong put on it. This is the kind of project that at the end of the day, you know, in the Army, there was a saying, anything that doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. And this is one that if it doesn't kill me, it'll make me stronger, but I'm pretty sure it's just gonna kill me. New problem, our distribution block in the back is leaking. So yet another problem is the power steering reservoir is too far, it's too close to the radiator. So I'm trying to redesign this bracket where basically this is the power steering pump reservoir, and I did a couple of spot welds on it to test it. We're gonna fit it, and if it fits correctly, which it kind of looks pretty good, we're gonna weld it up and see if we can make it fit on there and bring the power steering reservoir over about 1/2 inch. Primary hose goes through as exactly as it should. There is still 3/16 of an inch of clearance to the bolt head. And so now it's a matter of test fitting my hose. This hose fits nicely there.
In this one fucking spot.
If you look down here, you'll see that their bottom hose is lined up. There's no kinks in it, so it fits tightly. We don't even have hose clamps on it. It would probably hold a few pounds of pressure right now.
So I normally bust Chris chops because we put Chevy parts on Fords. Well, he's going to bust my chops because today apparently we're putting Ford parts on a Chevy.
So we have Ford radiator hoses on our 65. So
LS. We put a Ford part on it. LS.
While I'm working on the power steering reservoir bracket and adjusting it, I see Davey's working on the exhaust.
now I'm going to check in on Davey because Davey's probably down here. Are you sleeping, Davey? Or
Yeah,
how are
I'm
you
good,
doing?
man. I just mocked this pipe up. I'm gonna pull it out, fully weld it up, and then I'll start putting the hangers on. That should be done with the driver's side.
So Davey, when I asked you an hour ago when this car was going to go around the block for the first time, what did you say?
tomorrow.
No, you didn't. You lying sack of.
Don't
when
use
did you?
up- don't
What
use
did
up
you
all our
say
cuss
to me?
words.
What did you say to me an hour ago when I
I said next Friday.
next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday? Nice weld, Davey. Am I allowed to sit in the seat?
No,
Why?
because you're filthy, and I'm not sitting in it. Not like this.
I'm filthy?
Yeah.
Audrey, am I filthy?
Yes, you're covered in brake fluid and
All right,
sawdust.
let me see. I don't believe you. You guys are going to decide, is the back of me clean or dirty? Should I be allowed to sit? Wait a second, who paid for this seat? Who paid for this seat? So the
look,
seat that I
look,
paid for,
we
I'm
don't
not
need to-
allowed to sit in.
we
I
don't
just
need
want
to-
you to understand what I go through in my own shop.
Let's not cloud the issue with facts, okay?
Is our glove box done yet?
No, it's gotta be
No, it
sprayed.
needs to be painted. Everything else is like painted and ready to go in. We just need the door.
Okay.
Now that the gauges are in, we can do the other side, right? Or did you already put in the other side of the AC?
Yeah, we can put it in.
No,
I like it. We're going to have to camouflage that steering wheel. I don't like the horn button. It looks cheesy. So we're going to build a really cool horn button. Do you like that? Do you like the paddle shift?
Yeah, I mean, it was very annoying to do,
Why was it?
but I do like it.
Suddenly my heart is hurting. It was annoying to do.
It was.
Well, please explain what that means so that I understand.
I've never done one, so
So,
it took a little bit of time to figure out how to wire
so
it.
the paddle shift. Can you get your fingers between the paddle shift and the turn signal stock? I thought you said you weren't sitting in the seats.
That's
almost
not
did.
covered! The cover is right next to you.
Take it off, arch it, another quarter inch or so, and then put it back on.
But as far as like how close these are, I mean,
Yeah.
that's really nice. Like
Yeah.
as far as where the paddles are.
And how does the car feel? That's an important question, right? Because when you strap a car on your back, you want to feel comfortable in that relationship, right?
That's perfect for me.
So that's where you would want to drive it. Okay, so it's good for a 5.8, it's good for a 5.9. Now it's my turn. Am I clean enough? Am I allowed in it?
I guess
Hang on, just give me a minute here.
it's like a spaceship in the center. Of that
It's better than the stock wheel.
one. Yeah. Well, look how much.
Can I see them
look
light
how much
up?
clearance you
Oh,
have.
yeah, I
you
mean,
know what I mean under your
So,
legs.
so many times we have to deal with clients who want to jump in a car, and I'm just about 6 feet tall. Now, if you're 6'6", unfortunately, you're just
And we
probably
sh-
not
and
a
we
great fit.
shorten-
It's a very natural response for my foot. My hands fit very comfortably,
So, but you're pretty much maxed out too. So
and
like,
I can see every gauge. I mean, everything. I can see all 4 switches, 4 small gauges and 2 large gauges.
all just through the center.
Everything
like
is
that.
exactly
Yeah.
in my sight line. I like it. Now, go ahead and get that level. Audrey, how far below that line am I?
Like a solid, 2.5, 3
Okay.
inches.
So in other words, if I were 6'2", I would probably still be comfortable. If I were 6'4",
Keep pushing it.
I would start crowding this car. So in other words, 5'8" to about 6'2", 6'3".
I don't believe Colin's 5'8".
That may not be.
I don't believe that.
So I know Audrey's going to say, I'm not old enough because she, thinks she's like 12 still. But Colin, what does this dash look like to you when you see all black with just a little bit of red piping around the arches?
Batmobile.
Which Batmobile?
Dark Knight.
No,
Adam West.
the original, right.
Yeah,
The original
I know
one, right?
Batman.
Okay,
You're talking about the long one, right? Like
The long Batman?
Batmobile.
I have
The long Batmobile.
the one that had like the fake flames coming out of or the real flames coming out of the back of it because it was supposedly a turbine engine.
Yeah.
That one. This looks just like that to me. It brings me right to that.
Yeah, it's subtle.
It's subtle, but it's still, it makes a statement. I like it. When are our door panels going on?
Once the top goes on.
Okay, and you know you've got to get the passenger side mirror on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're very close to starting it, don't you?
Nervously, yes.
Okay. What is left to do on the car? Obviously, we've got to put the top on it. We've got to bolt the right wheels. We've got to get the glove box painted and installed. We've got to get the door panels on, but all that's relatively quick stuff.
It is.
What?
Because we even fit the door panels already, so
Okay.
they can just bolt on.
So what is left? Because at this point, we've now got our engine all plumbed in. We're waiting on Davey to give me a mass airflow on my cold air system. We've got to adjust this headlight. Do my turn signals work? Show me. Okay. I got left, give me right. All right.
And they're working in the dash.
So you weren't joshing, huh? Give me taillights. All right, I got a right.
Well, I can't give you heat brakes.
Give me a left. All right, give me backup lights, even though we're probably going to get rid of them.
You're such a cheerleader.
Good. Give me running lights?
I can't. I don't have the headlights switching.
Why don't you have the headlight switch in?
That's what we were just going over.
Okay, can I see the gauges light up?
They're not going to light up because I got to put the headlight switch in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you like our Dakota digital gauges?
I like them.
The clock is running?
Oh,
It's not
we
12:02.
need some gas.
Well, that seems like, you know what? I'm going to let you handle that level of problem.
We need some gas.
All right, I'll take care of broken bolts and cold air intakes and
Oh, you want to hear the radio?
yeah. Okay, Audrey, who provided our radio?
Retro radio restoration.
All right. Did they do a good job on this radio?
I like it. I think it sounds very good.
Okay. You know what I like about it? Guess what it is?
It's Bluetooth.
It's a factory original 65 Corvette radio with Bluetooth added.
Well, yeah, that makes it pretty cool.
That makes it, no, I mean, that's a game changer, right? Because what happens when we try and install then the only thing you can buy is cheap aftermarket. What happens when we install a cheap aftermarket?
They don't work.
There's some problem with them. And if they work the week you put them in, they don't work the week later, right? Davey, am I going to have an exhaust on this thing anytime this week?
Yeah,
Okay.
tonight.
Why can't we finish the cold air intake? What do we need?
No, we have everything we need to finish.
We do? Okay. When are you going to set me up with that piece so I could mount it?
I'm gonna do it. Give me 2 seconds.
2 seconds. 1. Man, you're already time out.
That is really cool.
What's cool?
It's soft touch. Look,
It's not a button, it's like...
they're soft touch. See the clock moving too.
So what are you setting right now?
The clock. Yeah.
So what time is it?
I think I put it one too early. 3:36.
36.
3:36?
There you go.
That says it's 3:36. Does that say 3:36?
Sure does.
So in other words, do those sync up?
Yeah.
Okay, so you only have to set one. You don't have to
Yeah.
try and match them and they
Yeah,
stay
it
together?
runs over to it.
Okay.
Yep.
When am I going to see my gauges light up? Colin, quit screwing off. Make my gauges light up.
Okay.
You building the cold air system? Are you happy, Davey? Davey is not happy. All right, so headlights. Hang on, let me see them.
I got it.
No, you got what? I want to see the headlights work.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, bring them in. Well, let me see high beams. Okay, low beams. All right, down. Okay, this headlight isn't adjusted correctly.
Right. Hey, you can see the lights. And you can see when you turn your lights off, it comes back to normal.
So go ahead.
You do
Oh
that.
yeah.
You see everything dims.
Nice.
See that one pretty cool. Even the dials are glow red.
Okay, and does. All right, so we've got Steven Tyler's logo.
And
We've got the
FantomWorks.
FantomWorks logo. What do you think?
They're a little dusty.
Yeah, we got to clean this car.
Yeah, I think they look great. I like that. I mean, I know you were saying something about how they made his white and then they made ours red and white. But I mean, isn't our logo red and white?
It is. Yeah, that was Justin that did that. He took this project on and just ran with it, so that was very cool.
And I love I've never seen this.
The soft touch?
Yeah, they have soft touch.
So show me.
Yeah,
So show me what you use each button for.
Okay, well, when you turn it on, each one of these, so switch 1, switch 2. So switch 1 will control everything on this side of the gauge. Switch 2 controls everything over here. So you can see if I just lightly touch it.
So what are my options on the left side? Show me what I can. So right now I've got miles per hour, and what is that?
And that's your actual odometer down below. So 0, 0.
Oh, so this car right now has 0.0 miles on it, and it's going 0.0 miles an hour. When all else fails,
what are you supposed to do?
follow instructions. All right.
I'm not having fun anymore.
Drink your energy drink and suck it up, Buttercup.
Well, I had fun for about 5 minutes when everything worked.
Drink your energy drink, stop your bitching.
But now...
But now.
What are you doing?
What do you think I'm doing? Here, you hold it, would you?
No.
Please? Okay. Cover your eyes. What am I doing? I'm cutting a mass airflow sensor hole. So now we got to clean up all of that. Okay. So that fits nicely. Now we just need to see it for a sensor. Hey, where's that sensor you were throwing around? So you're saying I shouldn't throw this anymore though, right? Okay. I think we're good. It seems to line up nicely. Dave, confirm before I do anything more. So, well, I guess it really doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter whether it's this way or 180. It's just how you plug it in, right? Or is there an upstream?
No, it goes a certain way.
Which is the upstream? And,
All right, so the flow goes this way.
yeah, so it's correct.
Yeah, it only goes on one way.
Okay.
You can't just flip it.
Well, you could. It just might not work right. All right, so I am clear not to panel bond this.
Go for it.
All right. Let's clean up all the leftover flashing so that nothing goes down into the intake. Unfortunately, look at all the crap we've got on the inside. It didn't. Can you see all of it? So I got to get all that smoothed out. Other than that, it's going swimmingly. All right, so take a look down in there. You see all the flashing. All right, so we're going to try and cut it out here. Down in there.
The cold air intake needs the mass airflow sensor put on it, and in this case, Davey's approach is to use panel bond and mill out a hole. So the hole's ready to go. Now it's time for me to go bond it, and we're going to test fit this entire assembly.
All right, so at this point, we do our last minute check. We're going to clean all this off because we're going to score this whole thing and paint it. So we could technically fire it up with this. In fact, I may just go ahead and do that. Are we going to fire this car up?
Sticker guy?
We have a drive shaft in it.
Yeah.
Do we have, wait a second, do we have transmission fluid in it?
Yeah.
So is everything ready? Because look, we just put water in it for the first time, and I want to hear it come up to temperature. Do the gauges work? Right now, should theoretically my gauges report accurately what my engine temperature is?
No,
Why?
because I haven't set them up to the bin controller yet.
Why not? What the hell did you do all day?
I haven't set them up to the bin controller.
Can we fire it up? That sounds pretty good. You like it? Are you happy?
Hey, the These all work.
They all work.
They do work?
Yeah.
What's my temperature?
What do you mean? It's
Cold.
What?
It's cold. Just keep going.
Water, 73 degrees. All right, so we do have accurate water. I mean, that's, do me a favor, grab your thermometer. Okay. I see the smoke burning off.
My greasy hands were a little thing.
Okay. That sounds amazing.
You want me to say it worked?
I would like to run it in neutral and then put it in gear and make sure the rear wheels spin. Why are you looking at me that way? Is there some reason we can't do that?
No, we can. We can.
Okay, then when I say
thirsty.
something like
I'm
that,
thirsty.
I don't care if you're thirsty. We had an objective. You said, I'm going to stay late and make sure
I
this
am.
gets done.
It'll take me 5 minutes to walk to the fridge and back.
Okay, you go walk to the fridge and come
We
back.
probably have to hook the transmission control.
No, I gotta add fluid
up
to the
line.
transmission. I checked it while it was running. I need to add it. We need to go ahead and probably start draining all the water out of it so we can put coolant in.
Nope, not yet. I want to bring it up to temperature and make sure that the fan cycle, I want to make sure everything works. It ain't going to freeze in here tonight.
All right, I'll break.
I need to adjust the compressor. I need to adjust the compressor switch thing.
You seem to be awfully comfortable for a guy who's got to get a car working tonight.
It is working.
It ain't working yet. I haven't seen the wheels spin. I haven't seen it move under its own power.
I did my stuff.
I want to see it move under its own power.
Where are they going?
Davey is going to get a drink because he's dehydrated and hasn't had a drink
I
all
mean,
day.
once the wheels are on it, we can go ahead and put it down on the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. See, it's amazing, Hunter, how these guys help me out with this valuable information. So once wheels are on it, then we can put it on the ground.
It's only got one seat, so I guess I'll drive it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Say that into my good ear.
It's only got one seat, so I guess I'll drive it. But it wouldn't have any seats if I didn't do them. So I guess you could sit on an apple box.
Okay. All right. I got you. I got your seat swinging. All right, Chris. You got the brakes done.
Yeah.
Is this thing going to stop when we start driving it?
I hope so.
Okay, Davey, you got the exhaust on. Is
Yes.
it going to stay attached when we start driving it?
Yeah, most likely.
Without the covers, it's gonna burn
All
your
right.
leg when you get out.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Hunter, you're putting the wheels on. Are they going to stay on when we bring this around the block?
As soon as I torque them down, they will.
All right. Colin, I'm not sure what did you do today?
Put the drive shaft on.
Okay, so you helped out Davey with the drive shaft. All right.
That's good.
All right.
Okay, now.
Is it actually lining up now?
Yeah.
Hang on. I'll be the judge of that.
I mean, a little bit more. Okay, bring it back up. That's good. Okay, down. There you go. This side could be raised up, but the actual door is level over here. So this side of the door
Yeah, this
could come
whole.
up.
So I agree. We're going to raise this
We'll just
edge of the
Keep
door
this up.
a 16th or a 32nd. And this door looks amazing. So go ahead, Audrey, and just open them part way and then close it. Stop. Close. That's beautiful. Now let me see this side. Close. Very nice. What do you think of the overall look of that, Chris? The look of the gauges, the dash, the red piping.
Yeah, it's very resto mod.
I think it's very Batmobile-ish. You know what I mean? I got to tell you, I think it's a pretty amazing looking vehicle. It was a tough day, wasn't it, Davey?
It was all right. I'm mad that I have to leave though.
You don't have to leave.
I
You
do.
can stay here.
I do. I got to take my little girl to Disney, man.
I know. That's a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
All right. I think he had a little girl just so we could go to Disney, didn't you? Huh? Didn't you? Because if you had a boy, you'd have him here working.
Yeah, he'd be here.
but a little girl, you got to take her to Disney.
She's a princess, man.
Okay, all right. I mean, and I get that. I get that.
I had Hunter working on other things all day, but at this point, the end of the day is upon us. Things are kind of dragging, and I've asked Hunter to join us and get the wheels torqued down on this car. So if it does actually get ready for a test drive, we can do it.
Look, we suddenly went from looking like an amazing crew to a union crew because we got Hunter working and Davey's watching him and Chris is watching and Audrey's watching and where's Colin? The street lights are on, headlights are on, it's dark outside, it's the end of the day. And this was an intense day, but not a completely unusual day, right? I mean, this is the way things run. You've got, I mean, Chris, I drug you off of, you were working on a 51 Ford, right? You were kind of happy.
Yeah.
Did I piss you off when I grabbed you and said we gotta get the brakes?
I'm used to it.
Yeah, you know.
I'm used to it.
You were a good sport about it, and I appreciate that. And Audrey, I had you helping me with a whole lot of things, and then you were working on brakes and other stuff. Did that upset you?
Nope.
Nope. Did you get parts ordered today?
Nope.
Not a damn one, right? Okay. All right. And Hunter, you worked on the F-250, right?
That's right.
And then you worked on a 67 Corvette.
Yep.
And now you're here on the 65 Corvette.
That's right.
He's the only one that is on today.
Yeah, so you're the only one that made us a dime all day today, right?
Happy to help.
Now, Colin, well, there he comes, so we got to stop talking about him. Now,
We're best friends.
Colin, was this a tough day for you?
It's every day when this car's been tough.
Oh,
just today.
oh, give him a hug, Davey.
He acts like we haven't done this every single day for 3
All right,
weeks.
so today was a pretty intense day, right? But was this an unusually hard or easy day, or either way, or was it kind of a normal day?
Another regular day.
Another day.
All right, and that's kind of my point, is that, you know, working on these cars, I mean, it's kind of sexy when you think about it, right? You have this idea that you work on the car and you spend 10 minutes a day, and then suddenly things just happen, right? But is that the way it really works? Does it take hours sometimes, like something as simple as a bad screw? Can you spend 2 or 3 hours just unscrewing a bad screw? Yeah. All right. So this was kind of an interesting day in that a lot of stuff happened, but are we ready to fire this thing up, and can we take it down off the jacks? Fire it up.
And the wheels go.
Fire it up. Let's do that. Let's put it in gear and see what happens. Because have we ever spun the wheels on this car? So we're doing a lot of firsts today, aren't we? We got us a whole bunch more power than this car was ever designed to handle, with way better brakes, way better suspension. Give me first gear. Davey, does that get a smile out of you? Hang on.
Yeah, I'm going reverse now.
Do I have backup lights on? Yeah. All right, hang on. I got to see that. Hit the brakes. Yep. You're in reverse now. All right, forward. That doesn't even get a little smile out of you? Seriously? You're pretty stoked about those brake lights coming on, aren't you? Have you ever had brake lights work the first time before? No. He has had brake lights work, hasn't he?
He has.
Yeah.
Always did good.
All right. Turn your running lights on. All right. So we got our license plate light on. Hey, get off the brakes.
I'm holding for him.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait a second. There we go.
They all work.
So hit the brakes. Look at that.
He's holding
My gauges, what is my temperature? Go ahead and give me my readout on the right side. Hit the right button on the speedometer.
The
Press
right.
the right button on the speedometer. Right there.
We got voltage, perfect voltage. 0 to 60, 4 seconds. That's not bad.
No, look at the right gauge. Look at your tachometer. See, it's 12. Okay, so we got to reset the time, but press it again. So what is the top one? Well, hang on.
Oh, okay, 160. Oh, okay, I didn't notice they were changing over here. All right. Right there, 163
And what's the 30?
oil pressure.
Okay, so
It's
30
warm.
pounds of oil pressure
It'll come up.
at 164 degrees. Now, Colin, can you grab your laser thermometer and let's verify that our temperature readings are reasonably accurate? You still in your first go around?
Yep.
Or are you doing 85 and then are you doing 80 and then 85?
I just went around on 80.
Okay, so you
Go
still
around
got to
again
do
on
the whole
85?
car again on 85.
Okay.
It's dead. I need a new battery.
Are you good, Hunter?
Audrey to the rescue. Now, when will our LED display light up for our transmission?
When Colin gets it all calibrated. We haven't even messed with the paddle shift yet. That's something he's gonna have to mess with.
Where is the water temperature sensor?
Over here behind the manifold.
Okay, shoot that. That's what.
Well, it's gonna read different. It's like
I know that.
right next to the map, 136. 188.
I don't believe we're at 130. This thing's been running too long
Yeah, I know.
to be at 130. 180.
service stand ain't up yet, bud? The water pump's cold.
Is the radiator? Feel the radiator.
The water in it, Chris?
Here, there's water in the bucket. The radiator's warm.
The radiator is warm.
Yeah, but it's not.
Fans just came on. Why'd you shut it off?
Because it's about to puke out of the bucket.
The fans came on at 200.
We don't want to puke all over the car.
Colin.
All right. Are we ready to take this thing down off jacks and roll it into the shop? And then we'll stop there. So we are ready to take this thing down, clear the path, and roll it out. I feel pretty darn good about what we got done. Because the car this morning was not supposed to be a driving car for a week and a half, and it's gonna drive tonight. So that's a pretty big deal. And they love it when I come in and yell. What do you think, Hunter? Do you think everybody loves it when I come in and yell and force people to do stuff?
It definitely keeps the day interesting.
Yeah, well, there you go. We're gonna go around the block one time. Take it easy. We're low.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so Davey, you got the first drive in it. What'd you think?
It's got some issues.
All right, what are the issues?
I believe the shift controller needs to be worked on. It wasn't wanting to shift. Definitely could be, we could check it, make sure it's topped off on fluid. I did add some more. We got some tire rub issues. It's sitting a little low than what we like them to. That way we can get them in and out of the building. But other than that, the steering felt great.
Okay.
It had its.
How'd the brakes feel?
The brakes were wonderful.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, no, the thing would stop on a dime. Yeah, I think we're getting there.
All right.
But yeah, she's.
So, you happy with your first drive?
I am. I'm happy for everything that we have done so far, but it's definitely needs some more work.
Yeah,
But
we're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet, but we're gonna get it.
Yep. Thanks,
We
Dave.
always do.
All right, so this was our trial run. Did you think this morning we were going to drive it today?
No.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did. And, are you happy that it drove today?
Yeah, because it's at least it's a big step.
We know a lot more,
It's a
right?
big step.
I mean, so this morning, we didn't have a drive shaft in it. We didn't have a cooling system on it. We didn't have a cold air intake. We didn't have a brake system on it. We obviously still have some suspension issues, but Did we learn a ton by going through a very aggressive process today?
Yeah.
All right, so today, you know, I'm always happy with the birth of a child. It doesn't really matter to me if the kid cries or doesn't cry. It doesn't matter if it's an ugly baby, because let's face it, we all have ugly babies on day one. They all look like they're aliens, and they just do. They come out looking like aliens, but it's your alien, and it's a beautiful alien. My son looked just like E.T. the day he was born. Like a conehead E.T. In fact, I just, when I saw him, I said, go home, call home, you know, because that's what he looked like. So this is a little bit of an alien, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not doing everything right.
Right.
But it still did everything right. It came to life. So I think it was a great day. It was exactly what I hoped for. And tomorrow we have some work to do, don't we?
That's right. Yeah, we do.
All right. That's it.